The inauguration of the Ram Mandir in the first month of the year 2024 marked one of the most significant events for independent India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi consecrated the temple at a mega event attended by the who's who of the country. The central feature of the temple is the idol of Lord Ram as a young boy. The construction of the temple in the birthplace of Lord Ram was the realization of a long-held dream for millions of Hindus who saw it as a triumph of faith, unity and justice. The event also capped the legal resolution to a decades-long dispute between Hindus and Muslims that had often resulted in bloodshed. For the city of Ayodhya as well as the state of Uttar Pradesh, a potential boost in tourism promised the start of a new chapter in economic growth. A nation came together in grief to pay tributes to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, who was cremated with full state honours on December 28th. Dignitaries from India and the world over remembered his innumerable achievements and contributions to India's public life. From ushering in the sweeping 1991 economic reforms as Finance Minister to his transformative prime ministerial initiatives like the National Rural Health Mission to the Rural Employment Guarantee Act and the establishment of the Unique Identification Authority. The many tributes recall the statesmanship and the wisdom of the soft-spoken Prime Minister, who will be remembered as one of the makers of modern India. This year saw a change in command at the Apex Court. Justice Sanjeev Khanna took oath as the Chief Justice of India on 11th of November, a day after the retirement of his predecessor and the 50th Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. In an eventful stint in office, Justice Chandrachud left after delivering many landmark judgments. Notably, he headed the constitutional bench that validated the abrogation of some clauses of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. The Lok Sabha election results in June forced the Bharatiya Janata Party to turn to its allies. This is the first time in a decade that PM Modi's party did not hold a majority in parliament. The new government was lent support by two key allies, Chandrababu Naidu's Telugu Desam Party and Nitish Kumar's Janata Dal United. Written off after the previous election defeat in Andhra Pradesh, Naidu led his party TDP to a landslide victory in alliance with the Jan Sena led by Pawan Kalyan and the BJP.
Results of India's massive 2024 general elections caught many by surprise. Widely predicted by the exit polls to win by a huge margin, a seemingly invincible ruling Bharatiya Janata Party suffered a significant setback. While it managed to emerge as the single largest party, it fell well short of a parliamentary majority. The election results proved to be a shot in the arm for the opposition that came together as the India Alliance to put up a strong campaign. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi led his party to a creditable performance to become the leader of opposition in parliament, a post filled for the first time in 14 years. The election showed divergent and contrasting outcomes in the Hindi belt, while marking a realignment in South India's politics. Narendra Modi returned as India's Prime Minister for a third term, but this time propped by an NDA coalition majority. "2024 marked a new beginning for Jammu and Kashmir. After over 5 years, President's rule was withdrawn from the Union Territory, paving the way for elections in the region. The National Conference, along with the India Bloc partner, the Congress, formed the government, but soon after taking charge as Chief Minister, the challenges for Omar Abdullah became apparent. The valley witnessed a spike in terror incidents over the next 2 months. Omar Abdullah asserted that the attacks will not destabilize his government or his party's efforts to restore statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party scored huge victories in the assembly elections of the northern state of Haryana and the western state of Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, the BJP-led Mahayuti swept the mandate, defeating the Congress-led MVA alliance by a significant margin. The huge success was attributed in part to BJP leader and two-time Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who returned as Chief Minister for the third time, with former Chief Minister and leader of Shiv Sena as the Deputy Chief Minister. And in Haryana, the BJP marked yet another significant milestone, securing the state for a third consecutive term. Deft political moves helped the BJP to avert an anti-incumbency mood and return with a stronger mandate than it has seen in the last 10 years. In the national capital, AAP leader Atishi took oath as Delhi's third woman chief minister after Arvind Kejriwal stepped down as CM. Atishi is now the 17th woman to hold the post of chief minister in independent India and the youngest of the 3 women chief ministers in Delhi. She will, however, have a brief tenure as assembly elections in Delhi are due in February. A first-time legislator, Atishi is a key face of the Aam Aadmi Party, having managed the party's operations during Arvind Kejriwal's time in Tihar jail in connection with the excise policy case.
Let's shift our focus to the judiciary. The courts this year delivered a slew of landmark verdicts that redefine the contours of justice, equality and individual rights in India. In February 2024, the Supreme Court struck down the Union's 2018 Electoral bond scheme that facilitated donor anonymity in funding political parties. A 5-judge constitution bench unanimously held that the scheme violated the voters' right to information guaranteed in the Constitution of India. Further, the bench noted that the financial contribution by an individual or a company to a party would lead to a quid pro quo arrangement because of the close nexus between money and politics. It ordered the State Bank of India to stop issuing electoral bonds with immediate effect and asked it to furnish data regarding the purchase and redemption of the bonds since April 2019. Another landmark judgment this year had implications on a citizen's right to hold property. A 9-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court held that not every resource owned by a private player can be considered a material resource of the community to be used by the government to serve the common good. The majority decision dismissed such power of acquisition by the state while noting that the Indian economy has already transitioned from dominance of public investment to the coexistence of public-private partnership, from socialism to liberalization to market-based reforms. However, the judgment cleared that it in no way prevents the state from acquiring property for essential public projects such as building infrastructure like airports or metros.
A diplomatic row that erupted in September 2023 became a full-blown crisis in October 2024. When Canada expelled Indian High Commissioner Sanjay Kumar Verma along with 5 other diplomats. India retaliated with 6 expulsions of its own. The dispute was triggered by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's allegations in 2023 that New Delhi was involved in the killing of Canadian citizen named Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a designated terrorist in India. India strongly denied Trudeau's allegations of having any role in the death of the India designated terrorist and Khalistani separatist. Matters came to a head when the Canadian police in October accused gangster Lawrence Bishnoi of colluding with Indian government agents to kill and harass members of the Canadian Sikh diaspora. India's relations with neighbour Bangladesh witnessed a seismic shift since the 5th of August, the day when Sheikh Hasina resigned as the Prime Minister and flew in a Bangladesh Air Force C-130 transport to the Hindon Air Force Base in Ghaziabad, India. Her exit from Bangladesh was preceded by months of protests demanding a reform of quotas in government jobs. A government crackdown against the protests resulted in deaths of the protesters that intensified into a mass uprising that ultimately led to Hasina's exit from the country. In the months that followed, an interim government led by Nobel-winning economist Muhammad Yunus has struggled to contain rising instances of attacks against Hindu minorities, increasing concerns in India over their safety. Dhaka's heightened friendly overtures towards Pakistan and China have also increased worries for peace and stability in the subcontinent. Towards the end of 2024, India and China affirmed a game-changing border disengagement agreement, under which Indian and Chinese soldiers returned to patrolling along the LAC as they did before border tensions erupted between the two sides in May 2020. The agreement capped painstaking diplomatic efforts led in large part by India's NSA Ajit Doval. These efforts culminated in the 23rd meeting between India and China's special representatives that took place for the first time in the last 5 years. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi agreed on a roadmap to improve relations. In a significant breakthrough, the two sides also arrived at a 6-point consensus to boost ties, and that included resuming the Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage and increasing cross-border cooperation. Both India and China stressed the importance of maintaining a political perspective of the overall bilateral relationship, marking a shift away from the coldness that had entered mutual relations in recent years. In January 2024, relations between close neighbours India and the Maldives turned acrimonious over derogatory remarks made by Maldivian cabinet ministers and concerns over racism directed at India and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In India, reactions that swiftly followed led to Indians boycotting Maldives as a vacationing destination. President Mohammad Muizzu's government immediately distanced itself from the comments and suspended the three ministers. But after a visit to China the same month, Muizzu requested that India withdraw its 90-odd troops who have been at the island nation's request by 10th of May this year. His government liked the issue to the sovereignty of the Maldives. India recalled the last batch of its soldiers stationed in the Maldives and replaced them with civilian personnel to operate Indian aviation platforms that are present in the Maldives for evaluation, humanitarian assistance and disaster response activities.
On July 30th, Kerala's Wayanad witnessed India's worst ever landslide that wiped off 3 villages. At 2 a.m., 2 massive landslides erased an 8-kilometer stretch. 231 people were confirmed dead. The Kerala State Disaster Management Authority called the landslide the largest in India's history. The incident caused a debris flow of about 6 million cubic meters, equal to filling 2,400 Olympic-sized swimming pools. On 13th May, the bustling streets of Ghatkopar witnessed a devastating tragedy as a heavy storm and rain hit India's financial capital Mumbai. 100-foot tall billboards suddenly gave way and the massive structure, erected without license, came crashing down. Chaos unfolded as the hoarding, with its metal frame twisted and tangled, fell onto a nearby petrol pump and adjacent house. Eyewitnesses described the scene as nothing short of apocalyptic. As the dust settled, 17 people were found dead and 74 others injured. Bhavesh Bhinde, the main accused in the case, sought discharge from the charges, claiming the collapse was an act of God. On July 2nd this year, India witnessed one of its deadliest stampedes. A crowd crush occurred at a religious event organized by a godman in the Hathras district of Uttar Pradesh. A makeshift tent had been erected in a muddy field for the event, for which 250,000 people showed up, even though permission was for up to 80,000. At least 121 people died and 150 others were hospitalized.
In April, Prajwal Revanna, a member of parliament from Karnataka, was named in a sex abuse row. Horrific details soon emerged about the case. Reports claimed that no less than 3,000 video clips and documents allegedly showing the abuse and exploitation were in circulation. As an investigation began into the case, Revanna, the grandson of former Prime Minister of India H.D. Devegowda, fled to Germany, reportedly without the mandatory political clearance. As the case unfolded, Prajwal's father, H.D. Revanna, was also taken into custody allegedly for kidnapping one of the alleged victims, a former help in the Revanna household. Coming during the Lok Sabha elections, the case casted a shadow over the Janata Dal secular party. The Revanna duo now faced legal battles, with the son being sent to judicial custody. On the 9th of August, the nation was shocked by the rape and murder of a trainee doctor at Kolkata's RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital. A civic volunteer working with the Kolkata police was arrested for the crime, but questions soon emerged over the handling of the case by the Kolkata police. Amid protests by students and junior doctors, the investigation was transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI. But the protests continued as the junior doctors in West Bengal went on strike for 42 days. As the probe dragged on, the incident triggered national and international outrage. But despite the public outcry, the CBI's failure to file a charge sheet in time resulted in 2 key suspects being granted bail. Amid a rise in hit-and-run cases in the country, 2 stood out for the sheer callousness of the culprits driving high-end vehicles. On the 9th of May in Pune, a speeding Porsche, allegedly driven by a 17-year-old, rammed into a bike carrying IT professionals Anish Avadhya and Ashwini Koshta, instantly killing them. The underage driver, who was allegedly under the influence of alcohol, was granted bail within 24 hours after being made to write a 300-word essay on road safety. Public criticism mounted over the perceived leniency of the authorities. The Pune crash was soon followed by a hit-and-run case in Mumbai on the 7th of July, when a speeding BMW car that was being allegedly driven by Mihir Shah, the son of a Shiv Sena leader, rammed into a couple on a two-wheeler in Worli. The wife who was killed was allegedly dragged for a distance on the bonnet of the car.
The year 2024 saw India preparing for its ambitious Samudrayan mission to explore the depths of the ocean with its first manned submersible, Matsya 6000. Named after the Hindu god Vishnu's fish form, Matsya marks a significant breakthrough in oceanographic study in India. With its ability to descend to 6,000 meters, it's expected to help researchers investigate some of the most inaccessible areas in the seas, while boosting India's deep-sea research capabilities in the Indian Ocean region. India's space agency ISRO marked a special occasion when it launched its fourth rocket and the first commercial mission of 2024.
To both the teams, thank you. Let me take this opportunity.
Sent into space from Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota on December the 5th. The PSLV C-59 carried the Proba 3 spacecraft into a highly elliptical orbit. Proba 3 is a technology demonstration mission of the European Space Agency. It's expected to yield insights into space technologies and the study of the Sun's outer atmosphere.
We wish all the very best to Proba for their further operations and achieving the mission goals. Congratulations to both the teams. Thank you.
The Indian Space Research Organisation kicked off the year 2024 by successfully launching the PSLV C-58 X-ray polarimeter satellite, or the ExpoSat mission. This was PSLV's 60th mission. ExpoSat is the first dedicated scientific satellite from ISRO, aimed at carrying out research in space-based polarization measurements of X-ray emissions from celestial sources. The successful ExpoSat launch puts India in an elite category as the second nation to send an observatory to study astronomical sources, including black holes, neutron stars, among others. In February, India successfully launched a powerful new weather satellite into orbit. This started an ambitious mission for a geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle carrying the INSAT 3DS satellite of the Indian Space Research Organisation into orbit. ISRO achieved another significant milestone in 2024 by successfully conducting the reusable launch vehicle landing experiment. ISRO was able to demonstrate the autonomous landing capability of the launch vehicle under challenging conditions.
Cricket-crazy India erupted with celebrations after the Men in Blue ended their 11-year drought for a global trophy in Barbados. Winning against South Africa by 7 runs in the T20 World Cup, their second title after winning the inaugural tournament in 2007. Virat Kohli took home the Man of the Match title for the 59-ball 76 that helped India post a highest team score in the tournament of 176 runs. South Africa was in cruise control till the 17th over when Hardik Pandya dismantled South Africa's dangerous lower middle order. His last over wicket of David Miller in particular was an iconic moment as Surya Kumar took a spectacular running double catch at long off. The day was made bittersweet by skipper Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, who announced their retirement from the T20 format. India's finest sporting talent showed their mettle at the Paris Olympics, securing 6 medals, a silver and 5 bronze for the country. Manu Bhaker created history in shooting to become the first Indian to win 2 medals in a single edition of the Games. Both bronze, first in the women's 10-meter air pistol event and then in the mixed 10-meter air pistol where she was paired with Sarabjot Singh. Swapnil Kusale won bronze in men's 50-meter rifle. Neeraj Chopra won a silver, narrowly missing the gold. With that, he became the second male athlete post-independence to win 2 Olympic medals in an individual event. Indian hockey and wrestler Aman Shehrawat also contributed to the country's medal tally, bringing home bronze medals.